Right, I've got a question for all football fans out there. What the hell is going on at Everton? I posed that same question with Chelsea and Arsenal only a week or two ago. And most everything I posted on there has been proved right, as it turns out. Not saying that I'm the all seeing eye, not saying that I'll be right about everything. But what is going on at Everton? It beggars belief. It's crazy. A once great club, so far in the doldrums, it almost hurts, and I'm not an Everton fan. I've got a little confession to make. As a United fan, I don't have a second team or anything like that. But my son-in-law supports Everton. He loves them with a passion, like nobody I've ever come across before. He loves the team more than most anybody that I know. My young grandson is now into them because of his dad, and loves them as well. Although he's more into his boxing than he is his football, to be honest with you. But two great supporters there. And my son can't believe it. My son-in-law constantly depressed because his team are doing so badly, and they've done so badly for a number of years now. He's only around the 30-year-old mark now, so he's never seen the great success they've had in the past. But he does know that they've been in the top league for many, 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 many years, and it's looking more like by the day that they're going to go out of that top league. I cannot believe it. This is mismanagement on a grand scale. As Moshery wrote the book and Todd Bowley's read it, is that what's going on here? Because something's greatly amiss. I've read a piece today. I've kept the bins on again because I'm going to read some stuff. And I don't want to get anything wrong. I don't want to get my facts wrong. But I read some things today that made me shudder. If I was an Everton fan, I'd be gutted. But from the outside looking in, I'm sort of gutted. I'm gutted for the fans. They don't live a million miles away from me. They're real proper fans, and I know most fans of most football clubs are, but Everton fans, they're there through thick and thin. The support they get is extremely good, not just in the numbers, but in the voices, the vocal range there, the noise that they create. I've been to Goodison once, and it was a hostile environment, let me tell you. All right, the ground was falling down at the time, but that said as well, they've got something around the corner that's going to be fantastic. It's just a shame that it looks like it might be in the Championship rather than the Premier League. But I read some facts there in a piece I read, and I was shocked. So I'm going to look up here as I read them, because I don't want to get them wrong. It stated that this could be the biggest loss to the main division, or the biggest surprise to the main division, since my beloved Man United went down in '74. It probably could be. I think they've been at the top, Everton, for longer than anybody else, haven't they, in the top league? I think they have. I never read that, so I'm not certain. But they've been there for a long, 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 long time. I believe if they go down, it'll be the first time since 1962. They've never played any league derbies with their neighbours Liverpool. That's a lot of years. A lot of years. As I say, they may end up with the best stadium in the Championship, but that's not what they're building it for. And this wasn't in the piece, but friends I know and my son-in-law and what have you say is that if they go down with some of the penalties that may be levied on them because of overspending and what have you, that they may lose that much money or that many points that they may never come back up, and that'd be awful for them. I personally hope they don't go down, but it's looking bad. But it states in there that they're a family club. I've always thought of them as a family club. For all they're a big club, family clubs, you normally tend to think it's little miniature clubs and they're a tight knit. But I've always thought that of Everton. That's the way I've always perceived them. But I believe that Moshe's been there since 2016, and you've got to say, what has he done since then apart from waste his money? He's threw dollar after dollar after dollar on the wrong managers, the wrong players, and he seems to never learn his lesson. I seen him being interviewed. Well, he answered, was it one question or two, after one of the games early on this season when they got on beat again, and the Sky reporter outside the ground as he left with his bodyguards and what have you getting into his chauffeured limousine. I think he asked, would they be getting rid of Lampard? And I think he said, if I remember rightly, and I should remember it because I was shocked when I heard it, I think he said, that won't be up to me. I don't think so, we'll stick with him, but that's not up to me, that's not a decision I will make. Well, when you're running the club and you put that many millions in, well, why would you not make the decision? Has he got that much money there? It just doesn't matter. It's crazy. I believe they've got the lowest amount of goals in the 4 leagues at this moment in time. They've scored 25 in 33 games. That's the lowest in 4 leagues. That is like Shocking. It's really, really shocking. Let me just turn a page here. What else did I write today? I think they've had 10 strikers since Lukaku left. They've spent 145 million on strikers. They've not really got anyone that can hit a barn door with a football. Calvert-Lewin looked like he might be okay, but he seems to be injury prone. But he only had that 1.5 seasons where he was flying. We don't know if he'll be able to do it on a regular basis. And if he starts to, maybe he'll end up elsewhere, as Everton seem to do with the best players. They lose them. But 25 goals in 33 games? It's no wonder they're struggling. No wonder they're struggling. But I mean, I've not got a clue how many signings he's made since Moshu's arrived there, but how many of them are any good? How many of them would get into not so much an all-time great team, but say a team of, look at the 20 years before Moshu got there, mid-70s to mid-80s to when he arrived, 20, 30 years. I don't think there's a player that would get in the great teams, not one. But they spent millions and millions and millions. You know, I heard in the same piece that they lost the other week. Was it a behind closed doors game against Chester, who were in the National League? They lost it 1-0 with a few really good players playing for Everton. And the Chester team, that was pretty much depleted. And they lost 1-0 to a National League team because they can't put the ball in the net. You know, James Rodriguez, or James as we would know him, but I think he goes by the moniker James, £275,000 a week, stayed for one season. What on earth are Everton doing paying nigh on £300,000 a week to anybody? It's beyond belief. They need probably 10 players, outfield players, they're paying £100,000 a week to. And then they need to up it to 150, 180 when for 2 seasons they've done brilliantly well and decided they want to stay and they've progressed in their careers. And then when they get to that stage, they can sign the 200, 230, 250,000 pound players. But again, they want players that want to stay there. From what I remember, I forgot they got Rodriguez, being not a fan. But from what I remember, he never really wanted to come. You know, he never really wanted to come. But was he at Madrid at the time? There was no place for him. He couldn't get in the team. And a couple of loan moves or deals had fell through. So Everton was just an afterthought. And he probably thought, well, I'll get a nice few quid. I'll only do a year. And then I'll be on my bike again. And I don't think we've heard anything of him since. I don't think we have. Has he pulled up any trees anywhere else? I don't think he has. But you know what is going on? He's crazy. They look like they're going. I don't want them to, for all I'm not a fan. I don't want them to, but it looks as though they are. But this Moshri, he's got a lot to answer for. I don't know if we've ever had a chairman that's put so much into a club and done it so badly in all the time that the Premier League's been in existence. I really don't. It's just crazy. It beggars belief. No wonder Everton fans are pulling their hair out. No wonder they're demonstrating on a weekly basis. It must be awful for them. I feel for them. I really do. But there's something wrong at that club, and I don't. Going down won't even help them. I think Moshri going is what's needed. They need a chairman who is still putting money in, but has an idea about football or puts the right people in place under him to guide him and to help him along, because this Moshri is getting the wrong guidance. He's putting the wrong people in there, and he's just happy to keep signing checks and just taking them down and down and down. Where's it going to end? Where indeed?